child protective services, and they won't give them back to their loving families because they're making money.
This is a legal system that you're going into. And if you don't know the rules, you will be chewed up and spit out.
If I could say anything to a mother who just got their children detained, you're in a crisis. Yeah. Life feels like it's over. The most important thing is regaining custody of your children.
The child welfare system at its core is designed to protect children who need protection. Okay, and that's key, is who need protection.
So social workers, out of fear, will remove more children rather than only remove those children that truly need to be removed.
It's okay. It's okay.
This isn't someone stole your car. Someone broke into your house. This someone took your child, your flesh and blood.
It doesn't say on this order that it was not proven. It says untrue. I immediately knew that, okay, well, this ain't over.
Were there signs there? Were there no signs? Did I miss them? Did I catch them? At this point, I honestly don't know.
Families only get a finite amount of time to reunify.
I came into this field to help families, not destroy them.
The difference between the criminal system and the child welfare system is substantial. You have more rights as a criminal than you do as a parent.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Georgette Truan. I am the co-host for Fight CPS with Miss G, and I also work for the law office of Mr. Davis. So today, obviously, I have my co-host, Cassandra. Hi, Cassandra.
Hi.
Cassandra is a survivor of CPS, and she's the non-offending parent. And just like CPS screws everybody else, but Cassandra survived it, and she's pushing forward, and she's very strong and determined, and she's never going to give up. So I need to share something with you guys real quick. So we all know Child Protective Service is a protected empire. And I have a lady that called me yesterday, and she asked me to repeat that today, what I said last week on my video today, because apparently her brother is going to be watching this show as well. So last week I mentioned that Bill Clinton in 1997 Act offered cash bonuses to the state for every child they adopt, okay, in foster care. So in my, of course, in everybody's opinion and mine too, no child should be trapped in the limbo of foster care. We all agree with that, right? So President Bill Clinton said in December 1996 radio address that Clinton called for urgent new adoption targets. Then First Lady Hillary Clinton played a key role in building support for ASFA, which passed with near anonymous support in Congress and deep collaboration. So Bill Clinton in 1997 Act offered the cash bonuses to the state, like I said, for every child they adopt out in foster care. In order to receive the adoption incentive bonuses, CPS treats kids like merchandise that sells. So basically, they have to bring as many kids as possible, right? All ages, different ethnicity, to the adoptive foster homes, so they can choose which one they want to adopt. You guys, you're following me, right, Cassandra, and
Yeah.
everyone else? So basically, it becomes like a game to them. Merchandise. They don't treat children the way they should be treated. CPS's role should be removing children who are actually abused and neglected. However, because of these incentives and crap, right, they would rather choose the children who are not damaged so they can get them adopted easily. Because the adoptive foster parents don't want to adopt children that are damaged. Okay? So, what CPS does is that they bring innocent children so the buyers can choose. The buyers are the adoptive foster homes. Remember,
they treat our kids like products.
Exactly, products. So basically, the adoptive foster homes are different than foster homes. So there's two different types of homes. It's disgusting. So CPS work hard to get the federal dollar flowing. So each bonus is multiplied by the federal, multiplied by a percentage that the state has managed to exceed baseline adoption numbers. Therefore, state and local community, which is CPS, work hard to reach their goal to increase numbers of adoption. This program is by the very top, and is ran by the Health and Human Resources. This is why victims of CPS don't get the help from their legislator. Our tax dollars basically is keeping this gigantic piece of shit system floating. Meanwhile, 6 out of 10 children are dying or abused in foster homes. So basically, the poor parents, right, that can't afford an attorney, can't hire an attorney because they can't get that money to get their children back. And that's how fucked up the system is. So they provide parents with a court-appointed attorney. By the way, that court-appointed attorney is not pro bono. He or she still gets paid, just not by you. So he or she don't work for you. But they're giving parents breadcrumbs, just like a narcissist would do with his spouse. Breadcrumbs just to keep you silent, to keep you satisfied. But at the same time, that court pretender, who is the court-appointed attorney, is screwing you up royally. They don't trust you. They don't believe you. And they never will.
They treat everybody the same.
Yeah, they treat everyone the same. You're no different. But they do come across that first time as nice. As nice. Nice for now. Social workers are not to be trusted. I had a client yesterday. She called me, for the love of God. Her parental rights is getting terminated next week. She called me to hire us. She stopped her parental rights from being terminated. I asked her, I said, why did you wait that long? She said, I trusted my court-appointed attorney. Because that court-appointed attorney, and I know who you are, that attorney, that piece of crap, told her that she doesn't need to hire an attorney, that he got her back. He will help her. She trusted him so much to the point where she left everything in his hand. And then later on found out, after he told her last month she's not going to lose her parental rights, she's going to be reunified with her child, that never happened. So whatever the attorney told her and the social worker completely contradicted the last hearing they had. Which is, and I told her, I said, did you not research? Did you not, do your due diligence to understand that the system is corrupt? She said, well, I'm a good parent. I didn't think the system was going to treat me that way. And I told her, I said, do you think all the other good parents, I mean, the other parents are bad who are fighting for their children? She said she thought they were. So basically, oftentimes people forget that the system is corrupt and that actually good mothers and fathers are fighting for their children. Because remember, like I mentioned, children, good children, healthy children are easily adopted. Unhealthy children are not. So the foster home, the other foster homes, that is, that don't want to adopt, then they put the, like, for example, the special need children, they put them in their home. Why? Because they make more money. There's more money involved. So therefore, who are the victims here? The children. The children face trauma, alienation. So basically, when the child reacts at the home, who is not family or parents, then they say it's the mother's fault. So there you have it. Oftentimes people in California, people always say, hey, we can't record the social worker. We can't, because the social workers don't want to be recorded. So I tell them this. So I read to people, 1 second, guys. Let me just answer this lady real quick. Oftentimes people forget that when the social workers consented, right? Consented when they became social workers. I mean, when they became social workers, they consented that they can be recorded, video and audio. It's in the California legislative. I read that to you guys several times. So you can record them, you can audio record them, you can video record them. But yet they don't want to be caught, so they tell you the opposite. They tell you, don't record me. You're not allowed to record me, etc., etc. So you guys have to understand the system is broken. It doesn't work for you. It works against you. Without an attorney, you can't win this. I don't care how wonderful of a parent you are. If you're not a government official, you're not going to win this case. I have a mother, in fact, her husband works as not a detective, sorry. Oh my God. He's like high up in the police department. And they have one child, a boy. He's abusive to her. So basically, he's another narcissist. Remember, narcissists love jobs with power and control. She was speaking to me, telling me exactly what he's doing. The social workers are telling her that she's brainwashing the child, which is sad because the child is 7 years old. He told the psychiatrist, which, oh, by the way, when your partner doesn't want your child to go to therapy, when there's abuse happening, is because he doesn't want to be exposed. Because a good parent would want your child to go to therapy. But there's also some parents where that narcissistic parent tells the child, you better not tell your therapist anything. But he looks good on paper that the child is going to therapy. It's complicated, twisted situation. And who suffers? The child. then the social worker accuses the mom of brainwashing her child and coaching her child. Now, how fucked up do you have to be when you keep saying to every mom that they're coaching their children when they're not, and you're not listening to the child? Then they end up giving the child gets to who? To the abusive narcissist parent. Because why? This parent is either a firefighter, a cop, detective, sergeant, the head of the police department, the head of the FBI, whatever. They can't be touched because there's a title going on here. But everybody else can, because a narcissist has control over the people, the innocent ones, the ones that can't afford an attorney, the ones that work hard, making just barely living paycheck to paycheck to pay the bills and take care of their children. Those are the ones targeted, not the assholes who are actually causing harms to the children. Those ones are favorable in front of the state and county, especially if you're a county official or a government official. But a normal, person, woman, is a piece of crap in their eyes. Their money, dollar sign. So we have babies, guess what? For the state to adopt them. We have kids that don't even belong to us. They belong to the state. So what is the point here? You're making the state money, the county money, and the federal keeps funding. That's how screwed up our government is, which is really what I don't understand is that they make fun of other countries, right? They say other countries are this and that, but you have to be the dumbest shit to steal children from their mom, from good moms and good dads. You have to be so dark inside to do that. You want to go ahead and read this, or I'll read it. Melissa Stone said, one by one, I'm trying to fight and prove every allegation wrong. All drug tests clean. Now, mental health evaluation case open in October. I don't have undated for a lawyer. Melissa, I don't know if you called our office before. I'm not sure. Okay, here she goes. That makes sense. Better sense. She meant to say I don't have money for a lawyer. I understand that, sweetheart. What state is your case in? There's and I don't know if you called our office before, Melissa, but if you haven't, call the reception, the number that shows on here, which is the 888 number. Either Joni, Rachel, or Christina might answer the phone. Just tell them that you just want to speak to Miss G, and they will email me to call you. Email me your information to call you, that is. So just go ahead and do that. And I need to know a little bit more. Oh, California. Okay. I need to know a little bit more about your case, and I'll be happy to kind of come up with ways to help you. Okay. That's very important. There's always a way. Lisa Marie said, Melissa Stone joined my movement. It is starting up, and I need all supporters to join and help with this war. Compassionate warriors. Okay, so Melissa, Let's go ahead and do that. And Amy said, I am asking, do these court pretenders get paid their normal rate by the courts versus if you were to walk in their office and hire them privately? That's a good question. I know they get paid a lot of money. They do. They really, really, really do. I have seen a court-appointed attorney, stupid jerk, in California. Just I can't say the county because y'all gonna know who it is. But anyways, he was wearing like a Louis Vuitton belt, and I was just like kind of asking him, kind of like being silly, and I said, hey, how much did you pay for that belt? According to him, it was $3,000. I'm not gonna go buy a belt for $3,000, even if I had the money. So that told me something. They make a lot of money. They really do. I mean, why wouldn't they? They're helping the state, right? Whether they win or lose, they're still going to have people. They're still going to have clients. A client, especially a client that can't afford an attorney, a client, they're always with cases. But yet they complain they have so many cases. But the reason they have so many cases is because they keep stealing children. You're not really focused. They're not really focused on the ones that really need help from a really abusive home. But yet they send the children to the abusive party, which is disgusting to me. They're stupid. We have a stupid system. And honestly, this is not a political show, but I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say it because I don't like to sugarcoat shit. I used to be a Democrat. And after I found this shit out that they've done, I literally cannot, and I will never in my entire life trust them again unless they prove me wrong. Because so far, they proved everything I researched right. And I'm not saying I want to vote for a Democrat or a Republican just because whatever. No, I want to vote for the right president because this bullshit is disgusting. It's disgusting. Stealing children from good parents is disgusting. And these mother F's, social workers, they go home to home and they're lifting their shoulders and walking like little hyenas. And they're like, I'm a social worker. You can't tell me what to do. I have the power. I'm a government official. Bitch, you barely graduated. So for them to think they're above the law is because they allow them to be or behave above the law. These motherfuckers allow them to behave above the law. No one should be above the law. No one should be above the fucking law. Period. There is no but. There is no and. It's period. So, okay, so Lisa said it's all about the cash flow. We know all about the cash flow. You're absolutely correct. But Democrats started this shit. This is too much. I regret, honest to God, I regret having that mentality, that mindset, that just because you're a Democrat, you should vote Democratic. I was literally taught that at school. I was taught at school that you should vote Democrat because you're Democratic. At school, they taught me the Democratic Party was for the people. It's not for the people. It's not. Unless there's a Democratic president running for office again, that actually proves me wrong. Because so far, like I said, they're proving me right. This shit should not happen. No child should be trapped in limbo of a foster care. No child. No freaking child should. Period. And for them to keep saying, hey, we're here to help you. We're here to do this. We're here to do that. No, bitch, you're not here to help. You're here to steal. You're here to deceive. You're here to kidnap. Who does that? The devil. The devil's purpose is to what? To divide and conquer. So in the Bible, it says that the devil is the father of all lies. The devil's not going to come to you and say, hey, I'm the devil. I have horns and a tail. Doesn't happen that way. Okay? So therefore, they pretend to be, they're there to help the children, and they're not. And these hyenas, pieces of shit social workers are disgusting. Disgusting on all level. All level, disgusting. Cassandra, I know you wanted to say something, Cassandra. Go ahead.
Oh, and just to mention, like, speaking of Democrat and Republican and all that stuff, no matter how much everybody hates Donald Trump, just saying, if you do, he's actually reversing what Bill Clinton did. He's trying to start the first, and he did that 2 years ago when he was in office still, and they've just barely started doing anything to start that. And now services are getting like, you don't have a limit on your services anymore. The 15 months thing is totally out the window. Like, for everybody hating him so much, he's actually done quite a bit.
Yes, he did.
People. And
yes, he
like, did. That's like, he was for us. He was for the people, being a Republican. So for them to be like, Democrats are for the people, well, come on now.
No, when I learned this, like I said, I used to vote Democrat. And I actually, when Trump was running for office, I didn't vote for him originally, just so you know. Because like I said, everyone I voted for was Democrat. And once I started working with Mr. Davis, honest to God, started researching and studying and basically gaining knowledge, I realized that Democrats feed people with lies to make them think that they're for the people. They're not for the people. Listen to me. So listen. This is so real and so disgusting at the same time. Okay. The Democrats provide people with the ability to gain food stamps and cash aid for low-income families, right? They fight really hard for this. Really, 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 really hard for this. Then, once they become in the system already know now DPSS and DCFS. In some states, is CPS, which is Child Protective Services. They work together. They work together. So don't think they do not work together. They work together. So you become a number in the system. They know that you're a low income mother or father, and they're going to come after you. They will. They will come after you. They have your social security number. They have your children's social security number. They have your children's age. They will. So they're going to let you enjoy the help for a little bit. And then all of a sudden, they're going to go to your home and say, hey, we got an anonymous call. Sometimes they will tell you who the anonymous person is, and they're lying. They will say, it's your mom, it's your daddy, it's your uncle, it's your sister. They already know. Your siblings, they already know. And then you go fight with them, and then you think, oh, because we had a fight last year, oh, it has to be my sister. My sister threatened she's going to call CPS against me, blah, 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 blah. And oftentimes, it's not your sister. It's not. I'm being honest. And I'm telling you the God honest truth, because honesty is the key to get your shit together. Get your shit together. Don't fight with your siblings. Don't fight with your family. You need each other. This is the time you need each other. This is the time you need your family. And don't believe shit the social worker says. If the social worker says good morning, it's the opposite of good morning. If the social worker says it's a good day today, it's the opposite of that. Whatever the social worker says, it is a fucking lie. They're deceiving you. They're manipulating you. So stop it. And don't think because you're a great parent, you're amazing. And they're going to see right through you. No, they will never see right through you. Because they don't give a fuck about you. All they care about is the money, the incentives, the dollar sign, and that's all it is. So going forward, as God is my witness, I will never, ever, after last night I kept researching about Democrats, I will never, like I said, vote Democratic again. Ever. Unless that one running for office, whoever it is, proves me wrong. And like I said, because they keep proving me right. And I called one of my friends last night. It was like 11:45. And I said, you know what? I can't believe I've done this. All my life, I just voted for Democrats. And they were behind this shit. At school in California, they teach you that the Democrats are for the people. And you should be a Democratic. Because the Republicans are not. But honest to God, they teach you that in California because California is the highest, of course. They're Democrats. But I'm not anymore. I will never, ever, ever, unless, like I said, that person running for office proves me wrong. Period. Amy said, Miss G, you know what I told you happened to my husband. I am wondering or being paranoid if we were being set up. Yes, you were set up. I already told you that, Amy. I don't think you remember, baby. You and I talked a great deal about your case. Yeah, you were. It's okay, Amy. I understand, babe. But we're gonna talk about it later on tonight.
Literally, my two buildings, those two buildings that you were talking about, like the DEF, the family services, and like welfare, literally are in the same building, right next to each other, with no door. Like they're just in the same
building.
area.
Yeah,
literally.
So DPSS,
two different windows. That's it.
Two different windows. DPSS and CPS, which known as child traffickers, they have the same building. What separates them is a window. They go to lunch together. They if each other on the weekend, and they eat together at night. They party together. So there you go. They're together. Remember what I said to you guys many times. A house divided against itself, it's not gonna stand. That house is not going to stand. It's going to fall. So demons, corruption, protect other demons and corruption. Because if the state goes against the county and the county goes against the state, guess what? There's no jobs. No fucking jobs. And who benefit from this? Let me repeat it again. I said that last week. State employees benefit, social workers, children therapists, court appointed attorneys who are also known as court pretenders, pieces of shit, guardian of litem, CPS investigators, judges wearing black robe, like, having that black robe fever shit, sitting on a bench. They don't do their fucking job, but they tell the social workers, we trust you. Okay, well, we're just going to do what the social worker says. All these motherfucking judges, they're just lawyers wearing black robes. These CPS attorneys wearing black robes. Okay? So, CPS investigators, judges, foster parents, adoptive foster parents, children psychiatrists, all of them looking at the children in the state custody to provide job securities. They want to have job securities. So what do? They help the system. Everybody wants to keep their job. So what? Social worker is going to lie for her supervisor. That social worker, when she lies for her supervisor, guess what? That social worker becomes a supervisor. She gets a promotion. He gets a promotion, right? They get incentives every year. Incentives on top of their yearly annual pay. They get incentives for every child they remove. It's like selling a fucking car, right? If you work at a dealership, you're selling a car and you're getting commission from that sale. That's what it is. They ain't telling you that. They're not coming to your home and say, hey, I have to take your kid today, ma'am, because I need to make money. They don't fucking tell you that. Oh, Miss So-and-so, I'm here because we received a call, allegations that you're abusing the child. Oh, the school called me and said, oh, there is abuse. Motherfucking schools get incentives too. Public education is mandated. That's why the state has custody of your child. Public schools. So therefore, a teacher, there's a bruise on the child's elbow. I have a bruise right here. You can't see it because I'm wearing clothes. I got a bruise the other day. I was walking and my elbow hit the door by accident. My bathroom door. And then it hurt like hell. And then this morning I woke up and I was taking a shower and I saw the bruise. If I was a child, right, and I bruised myself, which every child does, oh, it's abuse. It's abuse. So parents should have a fucking bubble around their children to ensure the child is not going to be removed because the child played and injured themselves. It's automatic abuse if a child is bruised. But one of the parent that's actually abusing the child is abusing the child, they're not in trouble for it. And when the mother cries for help because the father is abusive, they believe the abuser. So I started connecting the dots. Our system is fucking demonic. The lie is the truth, and the truth is a fucking lie. That's how a demon would see the situation. You can't be human and do what you do. You can't. You can look like one, you can act like one, but deep down inside you, you are dark as fuck. And let's talk about these real quick about the monitors. You guys need to be aware of the monitors. When you're having a monitor visits, say your CPS case closed, and the judge says, hey, you need to, you're going to have monitored visitation, and then you can revisit the case in family law court. to get modification, whatever. Then the monitors, of course, they give the monitor, the abuser, the other parent, the control to hire that monitor, to pick the monitor. There you go. Pick the fucking monitor. Guess what they're going to pick? They're going to choose a monitor that's biased. They're going to choose a monitor that knows his new partner, or knows his mother, or knows somebody that connects with him. He's going to choose that. And that monitor is going to lie against you. That monitor is going to make a crap that's not true. And then when the mother keeps crying for help, that is not true, not true, not true, the system still believes who? The fucking monitor. There has to be checks and balances in that too, but there ain't. That's how fucked up judges are. That's how fucked up the system is. The system is so fucked up. We all need to gather. Everywhere in the United States, we all need to connect. And we all need to be heard. That's what pisses me off, is that people that are not dealing with the system judge the people who are. And you guys have no fucking idea that these are innocent parents. These are innocent parents. And I'm going to repeat, these are innocent parents. But what's fucked up about this is they say all the parents are on drugs. All the parents, they that's why their children are not with them. All the parents are doing this. No, motherfuckers, they're not. They're not. Not all. Some, very few. But what's fucked up is that the foster parents also do drugs. The foster parents, alcoholics. The foster parents, guess what? They're fucked up too. But you're paying them, right? You're paying them rather than help the parent that's in need of help. It's like they act like God. These motherfuckers act like God. You're not God. You're Satan. Satan is not God. You act like God, but you're not God. Woo. Okay. CR said, anyone have advice on how to get a new attorney or public defender for a minor? Interesting. CR, if you have a CPS case, that's a good question. I don't think you can get an attorney outside attorney for a CPS case. From what Mr. Davis, what I remember Mr. Davis told me is that you can't. They have to deal with the attorney from the state, the children, that is. You can't hire an independent attorney for them. Amy said, a caseworker I deal with should be CEO by now. I love you, Amy, so much. Amy is great, you guys. She and her husband I love them. I do. They're very dear to my heart. Yours should be running for office by now, Amy. Yours should be definitely running for office by now, baby girl. CR said, yes, DCFS has visitation with my son. Well, CPS will do that. CR, DCFS, same thing as CPS. You need to call our office. Call that number, and like I said before, either Rachel, Joni, or Christina will answer the phone. Just tell them that you want to speak to GT, and they will send me the message with your contact information. I need to know a little bit more about your case, and perhaps you don't want to discuss that all the way on live. Dad now has 50% custody, but our son is still refusing to go and crying weekly. That is, yeah, I understand. What's sad, like I said, what's sad is they always give the children to the abuser. I'll give you an example. In family court, when two parents are going through custody and divorce, and say they did a 730 evaluation, and the psychiatrist evaluated the father as a covert narcissist, but the courts still are reluctant to take visitation away from the father, and they do co-parenting shit. How in the fuck are you gonna go parent with a narcissist when multiple reports and studies shows you can't? You fucking can't. So, but the judges in family law court say, oh no, we're reluctant, we 50-50 co-parenting. Yet the psychiatrist is saying, hey, something is wrong here. This parent is not safe. But because this parent is a firefighter or a cop or works for the state or whatever, a government official, oh, they're safe. They're good. Forget what the psychiatrist said. It's all good. He's good. He's going to be a great parent. Then, because he's a difficult piece of shit, right, as a parent, then CPS becomes involved. Why? Because the father calls the police on the mom. Oh, my child, she did this, she did this, she did that. And then CPS becomes involved, and guess who they side up with? They side up with the motherfucker who is the abusive party. So they side up with the abuser. That's all they do. And the mother barely makes ends meet, and she's trying to survive, and she's taking care of her children, etc., and they put that mother and the child through hell. When a child cries out they don't want to be with their dad, it's not that the mother's brainwashing them, you mother piece of shits. Is that the child is crying out for a reason, you assholes. And then they say that the mother doing this and that, but they're not looking at the father. Even when a psychiatrist says, hey, the father should be investigated. Why is this report only one-sided? Why? Why is it against the mother and not the father? It's weird, ain't it? Isn't it weird when a psychiatrist, you have 2 psychiatric or 3 psychiatric reports saying there's nothing wrong with the mother and the father should be investigated? They don't give a fuck. There's always going to be something wrong with the mom. So when I started doing my own researches and, like I said, connecting the dots, guess what, guys? Who did the devil attack first? Who did the devil try to persuade first? He didn't go to Adam, right? He went straight to Eve. She's the life giver, correct? Can easily manipulate her. And I'm going to say this, and I know some women might get mad at me, but Adam would not be able to be persuaded at the time, obviously. Right? So even when Eve gave him the apple, as it states, when he found that it's from the wrong tree, then it stopped. Like this is like he didn't want to swallow the apple. So the reason the devil attacks mothers, because mothers are the life givers. Right? Mothers, the child's DNA stays in the mother for the rest of their lives. This is proven. I'm not just saying it. The child's DNA stays in the mother for the rest of the mother's life. That's how we sense our child's pain. That's how we know when our child is sick before our child tells us they're sick. However, when you take your child to the hospital because you're concerned, then they say, "Oh, you abused that child." How? If you abusing that child, guess what, guys? A narcissist, an abuser will not take the child to the doctor. Will not take the child to the doctor when there is severe signs of abuse. But a concerned mother wants to make sure her child is okay. And these motherfuckers who get paid by our insurance, they report you to the fucking Department of Child Services.
Can I answer somebody's question on here?
Yep.
It's Rebecca Ray. She's asking, like, she's from North Carolina, and she wants to know if you can answer a question about her system. But I got a link or a resource for her. Like, if you go to the Child Welfare Information Gateway and go to state statute search, you could search any state's laws and policies and state statutes.
I feel like I have a case, but I can't afford an attorney around here. Plus, the lawyers are always on their side, seems like. I wish I could have a lawyer take my case and I could pay out of the settlement, maybe. You know, Rebecca, I understand what you're trying to say. Oftentimes, people think they can sue the social workers, just because they have a great case. Without the right attorney, without the right civil attorney, you won't be able to do that. Because, like Mr. Davis one time asked me, he said, Georgette, if you have a heart disease, are you going to go to a foot doctor to diagnose you? I said, no. He said the same thing with people that think they know what they're doing. Everybody thinks they know what they're doing. But it took attorneys years to fucking master a plan. Mr. Davis knows the civil codes like the back of his hand. This man memorized over, I don't know, thousands and thousands of codes. Thousands. There's attorneys who actually come to him for advice. Okay? So you need a civil attorney that is willing to take your case on contingency, meaning you put down a retainer and then he gets a percentage from that. However, that attorney has to review your case to make sure you even have a winning civil matter. Not because you think you do, the attorney has to determine that. But that attorney to review your case, he or she might charge you a retainer as well. It's not as much, but he or she will charge you for their time. But not everybody has a winning case, because in the beginning of the case and the middle of the case and towards the end of the case, the parent already screwed up, right? Because they followed everything. Like Mr. Davis says, don't sign this. Don't talk to the social worker, blah, 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 blah. And what did they do? Oh, I have nothing to hide. Come in. I let them in my home. The social worker likes me. All is good. So you start talking to them like they're your friend. And I kid you not, every mother I spoke with told me the same thing. I talk to the social worker like they're my friend, because they were told by their family is to friend them. That's the last thing you want. That's like me saying I want the devil to be my friend. And there is no way in hell that I will ever invite the devil in my home, because he knows he's not welcome here. So what do people do? They invite them in. I have nothing to hide, blah, 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 blah. So you screw up your own case because you start talking too much. You start sharing information that wasn't even asked of you. And everyone I speak with tells me the same crap. So be careful with that. I had an assessment back in August and they were fine with it. Then all of a sudden, they said I had to go to their chosen facility because my case was due to be closed. Yeah. Wish I knew not to be not to cooperate from the beginning. Lisa Marie said, "This is my purpose for this movement to help all parents on bringing their children back home. This movement is in dying need to be in progress, so all of those demons will be punished, penalized." Amy said, "I was watching his show." She's talking about Mr. Davis the other day. "I knew Miss Georgette was going to go at that guy who was foster parent." Oh, yeah, that's right. So what happened was, Mr. Davis asked me to do the radio show with him last Saturday, so I did. So there was a foster parent he called on the show, and he wanted advice from Vincent, which was really sad because I let him have it. I mean, what, I had to put in my opinion. That's what Amy's trying to say. So what happened was he's saying, "Oh, I want like CPS said that they're gonna put the child with an uncle, like a relative, right? And he doesn't know that uncle, blah, 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 blah. This child bonded with us, it's detrimental for the child to leave the foster parent, that is." And I was like, after he said what he said, Mr. Davis, he was calm, give him advice, blah, 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 blah. And then I said, "But wait a minute, let me respond to this guy." And I said, "Well, what makes you think the child would be traumatized? Don't you think the child was already traumatized when they stole the child from their parents and put the child with you, who is the stranger?" I mean, foster parents, it is so stupid. Seriously, they're stupid because you're literally thinking that you have the right to every child. Aren't you not supposed to be attached? Isn't that what they teach you? But yet you become attached and you don't want the child to reunify with their family. Is it the money? Or is it that child is a good child because thanks to their parents, that is, and you want to keep that child because that child is not a troublemaker, like all the damaged ones? So you're trying to keep that child. This is an easy child. So you're saying that the child, you don't want to change the child. You want the child to stay with you instead of the family because that's an easy way to make money. Because you are not becoming foster parents because you want to help children. No. Sorry. 90% of you guys become foster parents to make money, not to help children. The other 10%, maybe. I'll give them that. I'll give you all 10%. But 90% of you, I hardly doubt it. Hardly. Anyway, you could look up Cleveland County DSS and help me understand better what's going on exactly. It was on the news last week, or I wouldn't have known. But it's all confusing. Honey, Rebecca, everything about CPS is confusing. You need to do your own research. Mr. Davis has so many shows on YouTube explaining the law to people. He has a book explaining the law to people. There's so much. I mean, for the love of God, I decided to do this show to bring awareness. This isn't about popularity contest. This is about bringing awareness. That's all it is. And let me tell you something, Rebecca. anything pertaining to the government is fucked up. Anything pertaining to the government and the laws and the rules is fucked up. Because they set rules in place to violate your rights. They set rules in the place of their world to violate your constitution rights. I'll give you an example. By law, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say will be held against you. Blah, 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 blah. What does the social worker do? Threatens you to speak to them. Tells you if you don't, they're going to remove the child. But guess what? They're going to remove your child whether you do or you don't. That's what people understand. But you make their life easier because once you open your mouth, they're going to write down shit that you didn't even say. Like, seriously, you didn't even say. Rebecca said, I love you guys for helping people like me not feel like less than human. I agree with you all the way. Thank you for that. Carissa said she is correct. Hi, Carissa, my love. Love you. And I did call you, Carissa. You did not answer me. I need you guys to put on your thinking hat, okay? And I need you guys to be able to gain knowledge and be able to bring awareness to everyone out there. I do my best, okay? So yes, I speak my mind. I speak my mind 100%. I don't know, like there's people that I speak with over the phone that don't know me, don't watch the show, and they told me I'm very assertive. I'm like, they love it because I'm like, I swear to God, I'm not lying to you. I was talking to a nurse and I said, you don't have to tell me, you're dealing with a fucked up system. She started laughing, even though she's in pain, crying. And she said, she was shocked. And then she said, you're right. I love your honesty, right? Why sugarcoat shit? Why? So you can look good on camera? So you can look good? Well, guess what? All government officials are fucked up. Fucked up. I heard something on the news yesterday where they were talking about how the Republicans are for it, but the Democrats are not, to bring the something about gas prices. I can't remember. I was falling asleep last night, but I heard that. Like the Democrats are not for it, but the Republicans are, I guess, to give like some break on 50% credit, 50 cents credit or something like that on gas prices, something. So the Democrats don't want it to pass, but the Republicans are for it, right? And I wish I would have heard it, but I'm gonna research it today. But I heard that, and I'm like, man, here we are, paying $7 a gallon. Biden, hello. I'll do it like Medea. Hello. Like, what's happening here? Yeah, Biden. You made so much fun of wow. You made so much fun of Trump, but wow. And your vice president is a joke. Seriously.
Yeah, he wow. Biden made us not energy. Our energy is not like we were energy efficient. Trump made it where we had our own source, and he totally took that away. Yeah. Like, are you serious? Like, why would you do that?
Yep. So basically, it's kind of like to stick it to him the way Trump did it to them. Get it? It's like tit for tat. See, I understand. Look, Trump, the way he spoke to people was very. He wasn't. How can I say?
He didn't sugarcoat shit. He was assertive, just like you.
All right, Cassandra. Yeah. All right. He was like, yes, he had diarrhea in the mouth sometimes, okay? Um, but I'm telling you, the thing is, they make fun of each other, right? But honestly, I do, now that I look back, like, remember, I said I didn't vote for him originally, but now that I look back, I regret it. I really do. And I actually realized that he's done more. He's done more than what's happening right now. I'm at all. At all. So the show came to an end, everyone. I want to thank you all. Cassandra, thank you so much for joining me again today. You are an amazing co-host, and I love you. Seriously, I really do.
Love you too. I just love this show. Like, you gave me so much inspiration. Like, I'm actually looking to be an advocate for all this stuff too. Like, I'm like really researching like everything I possibly can. I've been like, you just like changed my whole life.
Thank you, baby girl. Thank you so much. And I think that's what we need, more people, you guys, to be honest. We need more people to speak their mind, because fear is not from God, right? Fear is not from God. Fear is from the devil. So if you're afraid, you're allowing the devil to control your life. Even Jesus said, the truth will set you free. The truth will set you free. And he also said, it's okay to be angry. Just do not sin. Sin not. So don't let your anger becomes into a sin. Meaning, it's okay to be angry. It's okay to be disappointed. But don't go kill for that anger, right? Don't go hurt for that anger. But speak the truth. Speak the truth. Because the truth is not spoken in the United States. They keep you dormant. They want to keep you hostage. They want to keep you in chains. Who does that? Satan does that. By what? By bringing up your past, condemning you, when God already forgave you for your past mistakes. They condemn you. Who does that? Who wants to keep you hostage and influence you to do drugs, influence you to take painkillers and kill yourself because of the pain you're going through losing your child? So I tell everybody this. I get it. I understand more than you could ever process. More than you can ever process. Don't resort to drugs. Do not resort to drugs. Always try to hold it together. Put on your armor. Put on your armor and be ready for the fight. Meditate. People think meditation is boring. It's not boring. I've been doing it since I was 14 years old. I've been doing it since I was 14 years old. It is the most amazing thing you can do for yourself and your body. People, when you start doing meditation, you might think of course, you're going to remember your children. You can't take that part out. But the only thing you can take out when you meditate is the negativity. Your child is always going to be there. Take out the negative. Take out the hold over you. Remember, the system holds you captive. Remove it. You are a child of the Most High God. God has nothing to do with what the devil is using, because God gave us a choice. Remember? Evil does exist, but God gave you the strategy to fight against evil. He gave you that strategy to fight against evil. Just like a good attorney has a strategy to turn your case around, God gave you strategy in the Bible how to fight evil. So don't allow the devil to control you. By you allowing the devil to control you is by you keep you being afraid all the time. The social workers, remember this, the social workers are demons, right, in human bodies. So that demon controls that worker. That's why Jesus said, you're not fighting against flesh and blood. Demons, remember, needs a body to nest in that body so that body can destroy. Remember that. Demons need a body to nest in that body for that body to destroy others, that is. So keep in mind, God gave us the strategy to fight evil. I'm not saying using, weapons and stuff. God gave us strategy. Meditate instead of resorting to drugs. Drugs is only a temporary fix. Temporary fix. Try your darnest to clear all that clutter so you can have a sound mind. You need a sound mind in order for you to be a warrior. A warrior a soldier cannot go to war drunk. A soldier cannot go to war high on meth. A soldier cannot go to war without a sound mind. Because even winning, you have to have a strategy. Everything in life, you have to have a strategy. So all these drug dealers and all these drugs passed on the streets and all these drugs from China, from this, is they want to fucking sedate you. The devil wants to sedate you so you're not alert. The devil wants you to keep sleeping, to keep away, silent. So you can't now live without the drugs. You can't live without it because you think that's the only thing that can keep you together. And you cannot stop it. So you have to think of the big picture. Your children. You're fighting for your child. Stop doing what you're doing. If you're doing it, that is. Yes, we're humans. We make mistakes. I get it. I understand that. But you need to work on yourself as well. You need to work on yourself as well. That's the only advice I can give you right now. And try to meditate. It works, you guys. It works. Like I mentioned, I've been doing it for so many years. It helps a lot. Yes, that doesn't mean I don't face stress the following day. I do. Of course I do. Like everyone else. But you have to be able to take a deep breath from your stomach. Not your chest, but from the depth of your stomach. Take a deep breath and don't answer right away when somebody asks you a question. Remember that the devil will attack you every second of every day. But you have to be strong enough to distinguish between the devil and God. You have to understand that God is still on the throne. And you need to understand that you are a warrior. You are a child of the Most High. Keep that in your mind. The devil will put obstacles in your place to get you to think that God is not with you. That the problem is bigger than God. No, you tell your problem that your God is bigger than your problem. Let your problem know who God is. And steadfast. Don't be wishy-washy in your mind about God. Your faith needs to be strong. And I'm talking to those who are Christian, who understand what I'm saying. You guys need to be strong and do not waver. You are God's child. I keep telling you guys this. You're stronger than you think. So don't let the devil put in your head that doing drugs, that you need it to help you sleep, that you need it to help you cope. No, you don't need it. You don't need it. You're just giving, you're literally making them money. You're making the government money. You're making the government money. That's all you're doing. And you're giving them power over you. Why do you think they want you sedated? Why? Because they want to keep running the show. That's all it is. Lisa Marie said, yes, meditation does work. It works very well with me. It works. So, again, I want to thank you guys. I will see you guys at 1 o'clock Pacific Standard Time with Fight CPS Real Talk with Miss G. I can't get more real than this, huh, Cassandra? And then at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time is Relatives Fight CPS. I love each and every one of you. Cassandra, again, thank you so much. And I will see you at 1 o'clock, right?
Yeah, I'll be at the 1 o'clock.
Okay. All right, guys. God bless you all. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.